Okay then, year 8, we have moved on to lesson 2 of the current week, and we are looking to complete our conflict assessment. Okay, so I'm going to talk you through the 2 questions that I'm going to ask you to complete. If you look on class charts, you have the sheet, which is the assessment sheet, which you would normally get during assessment, the yellow A5 sheet that you'd stick in your book, and you can use that as reference to complete your assessment. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at question 1, which is a describe question, 4 marks. I'm going to set you a time limit of how long I'd expect you to take to do that question, explain how to answer the question, and give you some tips to help you get the best marks possible. Question 2 then is our evaluate question, 9 marks with plus 3 for spelling and grammar. And again, I'm going to go through the question, and then we're going to give you some hints, tips how to answer the question. And again, I'm going to set you a time limit of how long I'd expect you to take to complete that answer. Now, as this is an assessment lesson, you need to make sure that your answers are clear and easy for your classroom teacher to read so that you can get the best mark possible. So I'm going to ask you to please type up your response to the questions on a Word document and upload to class charts if possible. So if you've got the ability to use Word document, that is probably the best way to complete your assessment, because then we can easily read it, we can give you feedback a lot easier. However, if you don't have that, you are more than welcome to write on a piece of paper, but just make sure that your handwriting is clear so that when we see the picture on the screen, we can read what you've written, and make sure that the picture that you take of that work is also clear, so it's not fuzzy, it's not a weird angle. Make sure it's as clear as possible so that we can read it and we can give you a mark that represents the work that you've done. Right, question 1 of your assessment today, year 8, is to look at the choropleth map showing 2013 Global Peace Index. Now, if we look at the map which is on the slide in front of you, you can see that it's a choropleth map. And we looked at this in our revision. Remember, a choropleth map just shows you different countries across the world, and they're shaded in different colours. And then you can look at your key, which is in the left-hand side, saying state of peace, and you can decide what state of peace that is by looking at the colour of that country. Okay, so the question that relates to this map then is describe the distribution of countries who are very low peace state. Okay, so if we break that question down, describe just means tell me, distribution means where, so tell me where countries who are very low peace state are. So where are the low peace state countries located? Now, just looking at the question 1 checklist, first of all, remember you're using your GCSE to answer this question. So what's the general trend, closer in, specifically, and what's an exception? Okay, and if you're unsure about that, we did do that in revision. Okay, so what is generally happening? Closer in, you need to name a continent, specifically name a country. Exception is anything that goes against your general trend. Okay, so is there a difference between the north and south? So remember, you can divide your map up into north and south. Okay, which continent then has the lowest peace state? Remember, we're looking at the lowest. Okay, then you need to tell me a country within that continent. So give an example of a country, and remember, link it to your key. It is a very low peace state. Okay, and then finally, what is an exception? Is there something that goes against your general trend? So if you've said everything is located in the north, but there's something in the south, you need to name that as your exception and explain why. If you can't quite see that map clearly, I have uploaded a map on an A4 document in class charts so you can see it a bit clearer. Put a time limit of 5 minutes on this question. So what I want you to do is, now I've gone through the question, can you press pause, give yourself around 5 minutes to answer this question. Remember, you're writing it in a Word document or on a piece of paper. Remember that it needs to be clear. Moving on to question 2 of your assessment today, year 8, we're looking at the question, the Three Gorges Dam brings only positive things to the Chinese government. To what extent do you agree with this statement? Okay, so if we just break that down, the Three Gorges Dam only brings good things to the Chinese government. Do you agree with the statement? So do you think that statement is correct? Okay, because it's a 9-mark question, you need to give 2 sides of the argument. So you need to give a positive and a negative, and then you need to tell me at the end if you agree or disagree with that statement. You also need to open your statement with, I agree to some extent, I agree to the fullest extent, or I agree to no extent. And remember, that has to match to your conclusion. So if you agree in the beginning, you also need to agree in your conclusion. Okay, so remember, this is a 9-mark question. There is also 3 marks for spelling and grammar, so you need to make sure that you're using capital letters when you're using beginning a sentence. If you're using a country's name, okay, you need to be putting the correct grammar in, so full stops, question marks in the right place, commas in the right place. Want to see keywords, and when you use keywords, you should be explaining them at the same time. That's how you get 3 marks in spelling and grammar. Okay, so just looking at your marking scheme, so if you're looking to get 1 to 3 marks, you're listing the good and bad things that the Three Gorges Dam has brought to the Chinese government. So you're going to say, one bad thing is this, it's bad because. One good thing is this, it's good because. Okay, for 4 to 6 marks, then you need to start to explain your answer. So you need to start using pedals. So this is good because. Why is it good? This means that. What does it mean? What does it mean for the original point? What does it mean for the Chinese government? Okay. You also need to link to SEEP, so social, economic, environmental, political. This is social because, or this is economic, and explain why. Okay. Remember, you're doing that twice because you're doing 2 pedal paragraphs, 1 positive, 1 negative. Okay. For 7 to 9 marks, then you're doing your 2 pedal paragraphs. You're adding in your link to SEEP, like I've just said, but you're also adding in however. So that's where you need to say, evaluate your point. So if you said it was a good thing, so the Chinese government have had good things from the Three Gorges Dam because of this, explained it, linked to SEEP, then you say, however, this could be a problem because, or you could say, however, a better thing for the Chinese government was this as well. And then when you do your negative, you can do the same, but you might do, however, a good thing of this negative was this, or another negative that was even worse was this, and explain that just briefly, okay? You then need to complete a conclusion, which is just your opinion. So overall, I think that it did bring positives to the Chinese government because of this, or overall it did not bring positives to the Chinese government because of this. And then again, you need to just do a however. However, someone else might think that actually it was a bad thing or a good thing because of this. So you just explain your opinion, but then giving what someone else might give as well. Remember, this is just a brief explanation of what you've already said in your previous 2 paragraphs. Again, you've got a question 2 checklist. So have you used keywords throughout? Have you linked to SEEP, social, economic, environmental, political? Have you used good spelling and grammar? And I've already gone through that with you. Have you used because this means that? Have you evaluated your ideas? So have you said why it was a problem, or why it could be, or how it could be improved? Facts and figures. So if you're going to tell me houses have been destroyed, how many houses have been destroyed? Okay. And remember to write your conclusion. Okay. Again, we did go through this through revision, so we have already practiced this. This is your time now to use that plan that you created last lesson. Obviously not in front of you, but use that plan that you made last lesson to then answer the question. Okay. So for this question, I'm giving you 15 minutes to complete 2 pedal paragraphs and a brief conclusion summing up what you think. Well done for completing your assessment today, Year 8. Just a few things that I want you to upload, and these are really important today because we are going to mark these, we are going to give you a grade, and we are going to send you some feedback through your class charts. So if you've done it on a Word document and your answers, you need to save that onto your computer, upload it up to class charts so that we can read through it, mark it, and put some feedback for you. If you have done yours with pen and paper, again, remember, like I said at the beginning of the lesson, can you make sure that your photo is clear and also that your handwriting is clear? Because if we can't read your answer, we can't mark it. So it's really important that your handwriting and photo are clear. I've had a few photos back for other year groups where I can't see the picture, so I haven't been able to mark the work. And I know that you'll be disappointed that you've put all this hard work in and haven't been able to mark it, okay? So well done for completing this assessment. I know it's not the easiest of the lessons to do at home, but well done for doing this. We're all looking forward to seeing your answers. We will be giving you some good feedback, and thank you again.